Okay, so I'm here today with Simone Faricelli, who's AI specialist at Stip.ai. And welcome, Simone.
Hi, Stefan. Nice to meet you.
Thanks so much for your time. I think the world all over is going a little bit crazy with AI. And so a lot of people are interested, concerned, and there's a lot of miscommunication going on. I think a lot of people are maybe reading a little too much into what the future is looking like. Some people maybe are not realizing what the future is looking like, or maybe in some cases the future is already here, right? And we just don't know about it.
Yes, that's right.
So, what do you? I'm going to start with very big picture, and it may be a difficult question to answer, but how do you feel about AI? You're an AI specialist. This is your focus in your career for a while now. How do you feel about AI in general and humankind? Are you concerned? Are you excited? Is this a positive net? A positive something to be worried about? How do you feel?
Okay. What I think is maybe I might be a bit on one side because I am an AI specialist, of course. But what I think is that we have to be excited about this new AI comings every new day with new stuff. Because I think that AI is not replacing people. AI is a tool at the service of humanity. We have to use it. We have to be aware that it might be something really dangerous, but in the hands of bad people. So if we make a good use of AI, we can make ourselves better, our works better. We can really speed up processes. We can make things really easy. So I think we don't have to think about a catastrophic use of artificial intelligence like Terminator, Matrix, or whatever film with dystopic visions. I have to. I'm very proud of what I do. This artificial intelligence is changing the world, and in a better way. And I hope it will do. It will do this even better in the next time.
Cool. Okay, so you're excited, right? You think there's potentially maybe cause to concern in who's using AI, but overall, you would say, what's the emotion that you feel right now? Is it it's more excitement than fear?
Absolutely, it's excitement. I have no fear because I know that at the moment AI cannot do anything. It's very focused on specific tasks, so we don't have to be afraid too much on artificial intelligence.
All right. Well, a lot of people probably excited about that answer. How do you? I think you're an AI specialist. A lot of people right now looking for jobs, looking for better jobs. They would love to know, how do you become an AI specialist?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. I was an informatic engineer, and at a certain point of my life, I had to choose between cybersecurity and artificial intelligence. Um, but I have this kind of um, mm, I really love how people thinks, people brains. Uh, I really love how to understand how people behave in general, and I think that it would be nice to join these two passion of mine, which is informatic, IT, and people's brains, people behavior, and this has joined into artificial intelligence because of course artificial intelligence is taken from how the people brains in general. So we turn how people behaves into artificial intelligence model, and this is really an amazing thing to me.
Got it. So the original impetus for the original models were based on the human neuron model. Is there something Is there something that we've taken from biology and we've built these models based out of that. Is there, you think, something we've through doing this, is there something we've learned about human cognition or the way we learn or the way our brain works?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the basic stuff of artificial intelligence is based on neurons. So activation function is basically how the electrons move through our brains. So biology and artificial intelligence are really bound together in this sense.
So have we, has the learning that we've done through AI and computing, has that, do you know if that's had any repercussions on how, not brain surgeons, but, people that study the brain in general, and neurology, have they, have we been able to take that information back? Has that enlightened us into the way humans function a little bit, or not yet?
I don't know really. We know for sure that AI helped a lot with prosthetic arms and stuff like that. But I don't know if we can turn something from artificial intelligence to a human being. We know for sure that we can do the opposite, turning the behavior of talking, seeing, and hearing to artificial intelligence model than task. But I don't know if it can actually do the opposite.
Yeah, the opposite. Maybe not there yet.
No, not yet.
I guess it's, it's kind of fitting because I think the product that you're working on at Stip is, it's not just AI related to, maybe tagging videos, or it's not a pure computing function. You're really bringing AI into the fold of human process, right? How do you improve human processes and the human engagement? How do you improve customer service? And so I think that idea you gave about the origins of your interest into AI, I think is fitting. I think when, I interview a lot of CTOs, a lot of people in technical fields, and I always find that the original motivations for people joining the field really guide the type of companies that they end up working with. I think that's definitely the case here. So what kind of attracted to you to Stip, and how did you get involved with that product?
Okay, so Stip is born from an idea or maybe a situation, because we all have been in the situation of contacting a big company, the customer care of this big company for whatever issue we have, and we really hated having this malfunctioning bot answering us and not solving our issue. And this happens because not only because of the malfunctioning bot, but also because the human being wants to feel the warmth of another person. A human being wants to speak with one of his own, and eventually, even if it doesn't manage to help solve our issue. But this means probably being human. So the main reason behind Stip is not trying to replace a human with an artificial intelligence, but is providing artificial intelligence tool to any operator of the customer server, customer service of big companies, in order to make his work easily. So we wanted to speed up process, help the operators. So we want to human and artificial intelligence work together to achieve one common goal.
Okay, so you started with the idea of let's improve customer service, right? Is that right? And then, what was your first approach towards building something that worked? Because I think a lot of AI companies, or a lot of companies overall, have this problem right now where the typical product development cycle for software is usually based off an idea, and then you build the software based on that idea. And it seems to me like in AI, it's a little bit different. I think a lot of times you maybe have to start with the data, and it doesn't really, you can't really do much without the data. Was that the case? Like, did you experience data problems when you began, or how did you manage that, bridge that gap?
Okay, yes, we have tried many models in these 5 years of work, and at the beginning, it was our models were very data hungry. We needed a lot of data from each customer to build a functioning artificial intelligence model. But moving through the years and collecting also general data, we were able to build a model that can actually do tasks, perform a lot good, even without any kind of data. And thanks also to these new upcoming generative models like OpenAI, the new Elon Musk XAI that released Grok, and other models like that. Now we are able to exploit this model, or better, the idea behind this model, the architecture that lies behind these models, and we are able to help a company even without adding a single data from them. Obviously, with the data from the company, we can build the customer specific models that are visibly better, but we can help even without any data.
So it seems like the large language models have sort of taken it up a notch, right? By providing a base on which to improve. When when did you guys make that switch internally, or when were you able to leverage these large language models internally and get that into your product?
Okay, internally we have a good research and development field, which is always finding new solution. So we are trying to use these generative models from 2 years, I think, and now we are able to develop our own model and make it better, make it good for the customer care domain specific. We have a lot of domains. We have automotive, finance. We have clothing, food and beverage. We have a lot of general data that we can use to make a really good general purpose model.
So I think all what you're describing seems enormously expensive to me, because the people that are necessary to develop these kinds of models are very expensive, right? They're all highly educated and highly sought after.
Yes,
I think it's one of the things that's super surprising to us about your company is the fact that you're able to do all of this while not being endlessly funded, right? I guess you guys are funded by your clients. I don't know if you're revenue positive yet, but you're at least building with a client base and basing that off of the revenue rather than having this enormous funding from VCs or anything like that. How did you guys manage that?
Yes, we had this really big fund at the beginning of Stip, but right now we have some good Italian companies that relies on us, and they are spending a lot of money on Stip, but they are grateful for the product that we provide them. And yes, the people also the people have to be trained, not only the model, in order to generate a good product. But it's something that we really like, so we do without any kind of trouble. We really enjoy doing it.
So how did you, you've been with Stip since, when did you join? First year, second year, third year,
I 4 years ago, I think it was the third year of Stip.
And so how did you guys go about, building your team internally, right? I think everybody wants to build a world bleeding edge AI team. How did you guys go about it?
I think that what we have in common and what you really need to be in Stip is to be passionate about artificial intelligence and cutting edge technologies, because, as I told you, we are always finding for a new solution, researching and developing new models. We are not stopping at one good solution. We are always moving towards newest and newer solution and technologies.
So how do you structure your team internally? Because you've got, got active clients to service, and then you've got this research and development, group. Is it a separate group completely, or how do you structure your teams?
Actually, we try to do everything. Every people can choose to do research and development or choose to provide the solution to a client. But it's basically the same thing because as new clients come in, we try to provide them new solutions. So we research while serving the client at the same moment. We also do this separately, but every client is a challenge for us to have a new solution to provide.
And so these new solutions, these new models, maybe I don't know how much you can describe it. How does it come about? The idea generation of that, is it through investigating the data? Is it through talking to clients about their needs? How do you guys come up with the next feature or next model to build?
Basically, everyone in Stip and outside Stip can have a good idea to build a new model. Some good ideas came up from our CEO, which is not really knowledgeable about AI, but he came up with really good ideas. So we try to make it work, and sometimes it goes good, and sometimes it doesn't. But we provided really good models by starting by these ideas from stranger from AI field at least.
Got it. And then in terms of the development life cycle, right? Is it pretty from idea to finished model that you can present to a new customer or to an existing customer? Is there a common pattern in terms of timeline, or does it vary?
Yes, I mean what's common is our need to evaluate as soon as possible the idea. Because if we cannot do something, we know for sure at the beginning of the project. But if we think that the idea could be good and we can provide a good solution, then we move on to the development phase, the study and development phase, and then we provide the production solution.
And in the last couple of years, like what does that timeline look like for a new feature? Is it 6 months? Is it 12 months? Is it 24 months?
It depends on the feature. I think that for new models, we spend like 3 months developing a new model for a customer, and if we need to develop the same model for a new customer, that it will take a week or two.
Okay, cool. That seems I think pretty compressed. I think compared to a lot of companies out there. So tell me a little bit about the challenges. With everybody who's involved with customer service and operations, you always have to cobble multiple systems together. There's never one system that your team is working with. How did you guys develop your product to work with multiple systems, and what are some of the challenges that you faced in developing these very special models that let you do what you do?
Okay, I think that the biggest challenge at the moment is regards the hardware resources that we need to train and use the new generational model. For instance, Elon Musk company XAI just released its generational mixer of expert model, which has 314 billion parameters, which is really a lot because it's double the amount of the GPT-3 from OpenAI. But what this means is that the model is not runnable on a single GPU, meaning that a normal person will never be able to run this model on his own. So the challenge is having these really heavy computational resources available for us to train and to test the model. So this is really expensive also because once we have found the model, once we have trained it, we have this model to be ready. Every time we call it, we ask for help to this model, and this model needs to be on a computer, on a server, on a really powerful resource available every time. And this is a really expensive task. And also, at the moment, we have not only us, but like AWS, Google, every provider it comes up to you um, doesn't have these kind of resources available, because a lot of companies are investing in AI, so they are all trying to have these resources by their own. This is the biggest challenge at the moment.
So computational resources, and I guess both access and costs are a problem.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And how do you guys solve that? Were you cloud-based since the beginning, or do you guys have internal, GPUs and server farms that you guys have relied on, or how do you guys solve that issue?
As much as we can, we are using cloud-based resources, but as I told you, they are not very available all the time. So we're trying to build a local solution, like a big computer with a very GPU intense workload and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's a big risk considering sort of the scale of NVIDIA's development into new chips, new GPUs. A lot of chip companies out there.
It's also a challenge in terms of privacy, security of the data. So it's really a big task right now.
Where do you see a light at the end of the tunnel for that computational problem, or you think this is going to be a driving problem for the foreseeable future?
I actually don't know how the world will solve this problem, because it's not only on us, but it's all over the world. I mean, models are getting open source more and more over the time. So everyone wants his model, and it wants locally, because I don't want my stuff, my data to be sent to Google, AWS, or whoever is it. So I don't know. The world is looking for resources more and more, and I don't know how we are gonna solve this problem. I think we're building new computers, new GPUs, over more powerful than the previous one, but also model is getting bigger and bigger, as I told you. So this resource problem, I think, will get us for a long time.
And I think we have been seeing the sort of a problem with allocation of resources, right? I think a lot of smaller companies have a hard time getting access because the giants out there have the money to spend, and they're monopolizing the resources a lot of times.
Yes, that's true.
Have you guys seen that? Have you been impacted through? I guess what you're describing is exactly that. The fact that both resource and cost is hitting into your overall ability to develop, right?
Yes, we struggle by trying to allocate new resources from cloud providers, because big companies they manage to allocate so many resources, and not always we are able to get our little space, our little room.
And I think we've seen that even impact hiring, where the researchers and the people who are looking for a company to get in bed with, and they are actually sometimes even demanding to see, like, call me when you've got 100,000 GPUs that I can play with, right? I think it impacts the level of people that you can even hire unless you have those resources.
Yes, I think for the R&D departments of big companies, they are not using cloud resources, but locally resources that makes them able to develop really quickly. But for the production world, this is not happening, because every client needs his machine, every client needs his model. So it's not always easy to allocate these resources, and we can have it a new computer for every client, let's say.
And how, I guess, all of that cost has got to be passed on to the customer somehow. What's your experience with, customer understanding of AI products and AI costs? It all seems fairly complicated to have to sort of project the number of tokens or the overall pricing that you're going to need. Like, how do you guys interface with your customers to explain the scale and the costs involved?
Yes, the idea is that every product has a cost. And for a generative AI coming from Stip, the cost is not so cheap. But seems that the companies are understanding about the cost of these new models, also because I think that OpenAI is open to everyone, and you can see the prices. You can make you can calculate your amount of money you will spend on it. So I think they are actually understanding the cost of every model we generate for them.
Is it, with operations, I think a lot of times you have to figure out, how much time am I going to save, right? How many resources am I going to save? What's the logic, on the operational side for a customer to switch over to Stip? Like, where, how do they have to approach that logic?
It always depends on the kind of tool they choose, because we have a set of AI models starting from a very, very basic one. I mean, we can have also a model that can understand if a message needs to be carried or not. So that is an easy solution that does not implies any great expense. But as the model becomes bigger, the solution becomes bigger. The client has to wait more time to the solution to be built, and obviously it has to be it needs more money to be spent on it.
So, I mean, I guess I was looking at your your site. On your site, you've got a bunch of different models. I think on your homepage or under solutions, you've got a grid of sort of 6 different types of models that perform different actions. Can you maybe go into a little bit of the types of models, AI models that you guys use?
Yes, as I told you, there is this very basic one which is called by us caring no caring, which just tell us if a message needs to be carried by an operator or not, and if it does, which is the category that this message belongs to. Obviously, the category depends on the company, because every company, every domain has its own categories, and we try always to make a solution that is client specific. They are not the only models. Obviously, we have also an identity recognition model, which helps the operator to very quickly provide the solution to the ticket that comes in. In fact, this model, what does is like highlighting the piece of the messages that are more important for the operator, like the trouble, the issue, and what's the cause of this issue, which is very important for a customer care operator. Then we also have like a semantic search engine, which helps the operator to find among its history the most close case that are already solved by another operator. And obviously, as these new models come out, now we have also a generative model that can answer directly to the users. Sometimes it is based on the history, and sometimes can generate an answer based on the domain. Like I told you, we don't really need the data from all the operators, from all the clients to build a solution that is working. We can also use the data we already have of that specific domain to build a good solution. That's basically the kind of models we have and we can provide.
And then you actually train each one of those models on specific clients' data for each customer?
We have the general model trained on the domain, and then we can also build a new model trained on the specific client domain, which always obviously will perform better than the general purpose one. But not all the clients are able, also because of this GDPR restriction. Not all our clients are able to send us their data.
That's yeah. I think data privacy and anonymization is I guess an issue you guys are getting into. Um, can you know? I think maybe I want to be mindful of your time too, because I think you know AI specialists are busy right now. So I'll just maybe ask one final answer. Where you know what can we look forward to in 2024? Is there any special features or development that you guys are excited about?
Um, what we are trying to do, our current goal for the next years is to spread the idea that a better communication between customers and companies is actually doable, and this is thanks to Stip. We want to make this communication better. We want to improve the operators' work by helping them with artificial intelligence, and we want to do this internationally, not only in Italy. So we're trying to build a team which is international and also multi-ethnical, and this is our main goal for the next years. But also, let's say, technically speaking, what we really want, is to build a solution that is completely automatic. Like we don't want to we want a complete automated pipeline that has the goal to generate a set of AI tools trained on the client specific domain that can be used by our clients without the need of a time and effort consuming process from our developers. We just want the client to fed these models with their data. So upload the data, upload their Excel files, choose the tools they need, and they are done. The solution is already out for them.
Okay, so watch out, enterprises worldwide. Stip AI is coming to you. What's your, you know, any particular market segments that you guys are focused on, or is it all over the board? Any enterprise above, you know, a certain grade?
Yes, we don't have a specific market.
So any enterprise that's B2C oriented,
Yes,
or
that's
do
right.
you guys even cover B2B?
We cover B2B.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, good luck to you guys. I think, you know, Stip.ai, super impressive company and product. It was a real pleasure discussing this with you and learning from you. And I look forward to seeing what you guys have in store for 2024.
Thank you, Stefan. Thanks for this interview. Really glad to be here.
No problem.